a comedic British actor who became one of the biggest stars of the 20th century silent film era. He worked with a children's dance troupe before making his mark on the big screen. Famous for his character, the Tramp, the sweet little man with a bowler hat, mustache, and cane, Charlie Chaplin was an iconic figure of the silent film era and was one of the film's first superstars, elevating the industry in a way few could have ever imagined.
Charles Spencer Chaplin was born in London, England on April 16, 1889. His father was a versatile vocalist and actor, and his mother, Hannah Hall, known under the stage name of Lily Harley, was an attractive actress and singer who gained a reputation for her work in the light opera field. In a performance that would introduce her youngest boy to the spotlight, Hannah inexplicably lost her voice in the middle of the show, prompting the production manager to push the 5-year-old Chaplin, whom he heard sing, onto the stage to replace her. Chaplin lit up the audience, wowing them with his natural presence and comedic angle. But the episode meant the end for Hannah. Her singing voice never returned, and she eventually ran out of money. For a time, Chaplin and his brother Sidney had to make a new temporary home for themselves in London's top workhouses. Using his mother's show business contacts, Charlie became a professional entertainer in 1897 when he joined the Eight Lancashire Lads, a clock dancing act. It was a short stint, and not a terrible profitable one, forcing the go-getter Chaplin to make ends meet any way he could. Eventually, other stage work did come his way. Chaplin made his acting debut as a page boy in a production of Sherlock Holmes. From there, he toured with a vaudeville outfit named Casey's Court Circus, and in 1908 teamed up with the Fred Carnell pantomime troupe, where Chaplin became one of its stars as a drunk in the comedy sketch A Night in an English Music Hall. With the Carnell troupe, Chaplin got his first taste of the United States, where he caught the eye of film producer Mark Sennett, who signed Chaplin to a contract for $150 a week with Keystone Comedy Films. Though his first Keystone one reeler, Making a Living, 1914, was not the failure that historians have acclaimed. Chaplin's initial screen character, a mercenary dandy, did not show him to best advantage. Ordered by Sennett to come up with a more workable screen image. By the age of 26, Chaplin, just 3 years removed from his vaudeville days, was a superstar. He'd moved over to the Mutual Company, which paid him a whopping $670,000 a year. The money made Chaplin a wealthy man, but it didn't seem to derail his artistic drive. Through his work, Chaplin came to be known as a cruel perfectionist. His love for experimentation often meant careless takes, and it was not uncommon for him to order the rebuilding of an entire set. Nor was it uncommon for him to begin filming with one leading actor, realize he'd made a mistake in his casting and start over with someone new. But the results were hard to refute. In the 1920s, Chaplin's career blossomed even more. During the decade, he made some landmark films, including The Kid, 1921, The Pilgrim, 1923, A Woman in Paris, 1923, The Gold Rush, 1925, a movie Chaplin would later say he wanted to be remembered by. and the Circus, 1928. The latter three was released by United Artists, a company Chaplin co-founded in 1919 with Douglas Fairbanks, Mary Pickford, and David Griffith. Chaplin kept creating interesting and engaging films in the 1930s. In 1931, he released City Lights, a critical and commercial success that incorporated music Chaplin scored himself. More acclaim came with Modern Times in 1936, a biting commentary about the state of the world's economic and political infrastructures. But Chaplin was not universally embraced. His romantic liaisons led to his rebuke by some women's groups, which in turn led to him being barred from entering some U.S. states. In 1952, the Attorney General of the United States obliged when he announced that Chaplin, who was sailing to Britain on vacation, would not permit him to return to the United States unless he could improve moral worth. The incensed Chaplin said goodbye to the United States and took up residence on a small farm in Concierge-sur-Vevey, Switzerland. Nearing the end of his life, Chaplin did make one last visit to the United States in 1972 when he was given an honorary Academy Award. Chaplin became equally famous for his life off-screen. His affairs with actresses who had roles in his movies were numerous. Some, however, ended better than others. In 1918, he quickly married 16-year-old Mildred Harris. The marriage lasted just 2 years, and in 1924, he wed again to another 16-year-old actress, Lida Gray, whom he cast in The Gold Rush. The marriage had been brought on by an unplanned pregnancy, and the resulting union, which produced 2 sons for Chaplin, Charles Jr. and Sidney, was an unhappy one for both partners. They divorced in 1927. In 1936, Chaplin married again, this time to a chorus girl who went by the film name Paulette Goddard. They lasted until 1942, that was followed by a nasty paternity suit with another actress, Joan Barry, in which test proved Chaplin was not the father of her daughter, but a jury still ordered him to pay the child support. In 1943, Chaplin married 18-year-old Una O'Neill, the daughter of the playwright Eugene O'Neill. Unexpectedly, the two would go on to have a happy marriage, one that would result in 8 children. In the early morning hours of December 25, 1977, Chaplin died at his home in Concierge-sur-Vevey. His wife, Una, and 7 of his children were at his bedside at the time of his passing. In a twist that might very well have come out of one of his films, Chaplin's body was stolen not long after he was buried from his grave near the Lake Geneva in Switzerland by 2 men who demanded $400,000 for its return. The men were arrested and the Chaplin's body was recovered 11 weeks later.